You've probably been researching about Canada and how to immigrate to this beautiful country. The country of breathtaking landscapes, maple syrup, kind and welcoming people, and, let's be honest, maybe one of the most pro-immigrant countries in the world. I bet this is exactly how you stumbled upon this video and you came to a right place. Because today, in just about 5 minutes, I will explain how Canada's most popular pathway to permanent residency, the express entry system, works. My name is Igor Kirilyuk, and I'm working at Holthe Immigration Law, a Canadian immigration law firm helping you immigrate to Canada. So let's start with the basics. Canada is a federal state and it has federal economic immigration programs and provincial nominee programs, also known as PNPs. Federal economic immigration programs such as Federal Skilled Worker, Federal Skilled Trades, and Canadian Experience Class, as well as some PNPs, are processed through the system called express entry. Don't get confused here. Express entry is not an immigration program in itself. It is a system that allows IRCC to process economic immigration applications submitted through one of these programs that I've mentioned above in a fast and efficient way. Before 2015, it could take years before your immigration application to Canada was approved. And Canada had to come up with something better, a different system that would allow IRCC, Canada's Immigration Service, to go through tens of thousands of applications, select the most qualified candidates for permanent residency, and process their application quickly. This is how they came up with the point-based system called express entry. Essentially, each candidate to immigrate to Canada would create an express entry profile and get a comprehensive ranking score, also known as the CRS points, for factors such as age, education, work experience, knowledge of English and French, and adaptability factors. You could get a maximum of 1,200 CRS points in the express entry system. Of these, 600 points are given to those candidates who have a nomination from one of the provinces or territories in Canada. So realistically, if you don't have a nomination, the maximum you can get is 600 CRS points for your human capital. The candidates with the highest CRS scores will then be periodically drawn from the pool of candidates and receive an invitation to apply, also known as an ITA. This is a formal invitation for you to submit an application for permanent residence in Canada. In 2024, it's kind of hard to predict how often IRCC will do the rounds of invitations and issue ITAs going forward, because sometimes we have months where IRCC doesn't do any draws, and sometimes we have months where IRCC does 3 or more draws in the span of a month. With each round of invitation, IRCC will determine the minimum CRS score needed to receive an ITA, select the eligible programs, and determine how many invitations they will issue in this round. So each round is very different. It's hard to predict what the next round is going to be. Some rounds focus on a specific immigration programs, for example, CC, and some rounds are generic. They cover all immigration programs processed through the express entry system. They are also known as general draws or no program specified draws. The CRS score needed to receive an ITA for each round also differs and depends on a number of factors, such as the number of ITAs that IRCC is issuing in this round, the CRS score of other candidates in the pool, and the program that is included in this specific round of invitation. In 2024, realistically, you would need about 530 CRS points to get an ITA under general no program specified draws. With these high CRS points, express entry became extremely competitive and it's very hard to get an ITA in 2024 unless you are under 29 years of age, you have at least master's degree, you speak fluent English and preferably French, you have 3 years of skilled work experience abroad, and preferably if you studied in Canada or worked in Canada. Well, if your CRS score is not as high and you don't have, let's say, 530 CRS points, you still can get an ITA under the category-based draws. Because the CRS score required for the category-based draws is typically much lower than what you would typically need for a general no program specified draws. Introduction of the category-based draws is a relatively new development in the world of express entry that has changed the immigration landscape forever. Basically, Canada is now not trying only to pull in people with high human capital score, but Canada is also trying to attract people who have work experience in the critical sectors of Canadian economy. Right now, Canada is actively issuing ITAs through category-based draws to those candidates who have work experience in STEM, which is science, tech, engineering, and math, trades, transportation, healthcare, and agriculture. Canada also has a separate category for those who speak French, called Francophone category. So that being said, if you don't have the high CRS score to get an ITA under general draws, you can always try to get a relevant work experience in one of those categories that Canada is actively seeking to fill, and you may get an ITA under category-based draws. Now, you're probably also wondering what happens after you get an ITA. Well, once you get an ITA, you will have to prepare an electronic application for permanent residence, also known as EAPR. You will have only 60 days to fill out your immigration forms and provide supporting documents to verify the work experience that you have, the education and your language abilities, and other factors that are relevant in the application. Once IRCC receives your completed EAPR, they will start processing your application, and realistically in about 5 to 6 months, it really depends, the processing time fluctuates, you will get your decision on your immigration application. If your immigration application for permanent residency is approved, you will have to complete the landing process in Canada to officially become permanent resident of Canada. Well, there you have it. That's pretty much it about the expert entry in general, but there's so much more that I can talk about here. And I will create a series of videos where I talk about different aspects of the expert entry process. Expert entry is pretty straightforward, but it is not as easy as it seems at first. IRCC is trying to make it look easy, but there are so many nuances that you have to be aware of. With IRCC one-touch policy, even the slightest single mistake can make or break it for you. It can lead to a refusal or a misrepresentation finding and essentially ruin your chances of immigrating to Canada forever. So it is very important that you educate yourself, learn as much as you can about expert entry before you commit submitting your application. And then if you need help, you can always reach out to our Canadian immigration law firm, Holthe Immigration Law, where our Canadian immigration lawyers will help you, guide you along the way, and answer any questions that you might have about the expert entry process. For those people who cannot afford an immigration representative or book a consult, we have designed an expert entry accelerator and a masterclass. It is a series of step-by-step video guides and video lessons, tutorials, call it whatever you want, that will help you understand how to prepare your expert entry application and avoid most common mistakes. We also have the masterclass, which is the series of bi-weekly 1-hour-long live sessions where you can connect and talk to Mark Holthe, a Canadian immigration lawyer here at Holthe Immigration Law, and he will answer your questions related to expert entry. Well, that's it for today. I really hope this video helped you understand expert entry process a little bit better, and I encourage that you like and subscribe and hit the notification button for this YouTube channel and really stay up to date with the most recent updates in Canadian immigration. I'll see you in the next video.